Lexington Sporting Club recently opened their youth soccer complex at the Athens exit in Lexington. Here to talk about the complex is Vince Gabbert, the Lexington Sporting Club president. Vince, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. So talk a little bit about your sporting club if folks don't know much about it.
Yeah, so we're in our second year of our youth club. We're not only our men's professional team in our first inaugural season, but our youth club as well. So we merged two of the local youth clubs here last year, and so this is we're beginning our second full year of our youth club.
Awesome. And how many kids do you all, help?
Yeah, so we've got about 1,100 families in our club, and we service about 27 different counties. So we've got kids coming from all over the state, really, to come participate and be a part of the sporting club.
Cool. And we were talking a little off camera, just the need for it, right? Yeah. Soccer's the #1 sport in the world. Talk about how these fields are just long time coming.
Yeah, absolutely. The growth of the sport is just phenomenal, and we've seen now what Messi is doing for the sport now that he's here in the States playing in Miami. But we really, the region really hasn't kept up with the demand over the last 20 to 25 years. So from a field infrastructure standpoint, they were in dire need, and so we've been very fortunate that our ownership group has made the investment to be able to do this for this area.
And talk about what it means for kids' tournaments, for tourism.
Yeah, the sports tourism piece will be huge. It'll allow Lexington to compete with Indianapolis and Nashville and St. Louis, and where we were used to going and playing. But now we've got 7 artificial surface fields there right off the interstate, and we've already got a couple tournaments scheduled, and we've got one in November. And then we've got over 78 teams coming to town from all over the U.S. to come and compete here in a tournament at Lexington.
Oh my gosh, and we were talking about the importance of the artificial field too, because just upkeep, with fields, that can be hard.
It is, and it ensures that when we have a tournament scheduled, that if we get a lot of rain or if it's up, being cold, we can still use the facility, and we won't have any downtime from that standpoint.
And we were talking too that there was nothing there before.
Yeah, it was just a hillside, and it wasn't even farmland. It was rocks and hills, essentially right off the exit there. And so our ownership group has made the investment. They want the club to be successful, and our goal is that our youth club will eventually feed kids into our pro teams that we have, and just have a full menu of things available for local youth.
Awesome. And how did you all choose the location?
Well, we had looked around for a number of locations around town, and had a couple different sites in mind, but this one fit from a planning and zoning standpoint. It allowed us to take advantage of the area, and it was undeveloped land, so that made it attractive from just what we're able to do around it as well.
And talking a little bit more about Lexington Sporting Club, what made you want to start this club to begin with?
Well, it really started about 5 years ago. We're part of the USL, United Soccer League, and the USL actually reached out to me through a friend of a friend. Lexington at the time was the largest market that didn't have a professional soccer team in the U.S. And so they had reached out, and luckily, I knew our ownership group through my connections when I worked at Keeneland. So Bill and Donna Shively that own Dixiana Farm, and Stephen Dahlhair are very much invested in the sport already, and they have kids that play. And so it was an easy conversation, and so Bill decided let's get on with it, and sure enough, here we are 2 years later from that conversation coming out of the ground.
Cool, and I know it's really popular, obviously, in Louisville. Louisville, it all started around that same time too, correct?
Yeah, it has.
So just Kentucky right now is just becoming a big soccer.
It really is. Really become the hotbed between Cincinnati and Louisville, and the growth that we've seen. TQL Stadium in Cincy's doing 25,000 or so a game. Louisville's doing 12 to 15,000 for their men's and their women's team.
That's great.
So we're looking forward to having some similar enthusiasm around here, and the youth club is really the linchpin for that.
Awesome. What do you hope for the future?
Well, we've got some big announcements we hope in the next couple of weeks on the stadium. We're finishing up our first season. We're launching our Super League team, our women's professional team next year as well. So we've got a lot of stuff coming in the next 5 or 6 years.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And how can viewers learn more?
Yeah, lexsporting.com is the best way. So everything lives on the website, and all of our schedules and everything that we have is there.